It is Gordon Sparks at breakfast. Travel in a few moments' time. Now, many years ago, as a young man, it says here, I started my broadcasting with Hospital Radio in Plymouth. And this year, Hospital Radio Plymouth celebrates 40 years since its foundation. We've had a message from Paul in Milehouse. Morning, Paul. He says he was in Hospital Radio on the technical side in 1968 for a year or so. He said no computers or CDs then. Just good old-fashioned vinyl. That's the way I remember it as well. We have 3 guests from Hospital Radio this morning. Andrew Hill is the station manager. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Gordon.
We know each other from a long time ago.
A very long time ago we last met now, isn't it?
Like me, you've got slightly less hair than those days. How long have you been with Hospital Radio?
25 years and a few months on top.
Good grief. What programme were you doing when I was there?
We were speculating on this a few moments ago. We think it might have been a Tuesday, but it was so long ago now it's difficult to remember, isn't it?
It was, yeah. And what are you doing these days?
Saturday mornings at the moment.
Right. I used to do a Saturday morning show as well at one time.
Yes, I'm just after the slot you used to occupy, if I remember correctly. You used to do the breakfast show, didn't you?
That's right. And after me, 9 o'clock for some of that time was a young man from Plymouth called Bernie Keith.
Yes.
Who has another name in real life, but a radio station changed all that, and he's now with the BBC in Northampton. Wonderful. Keith Jolley is here. Good morning, Keith.
Hi, Gordon.
You're the boss man, aren't you?
No, he's the boss man. I'm the program manager.
Well, that's what I meant. We don't matter about, even here, we don't worry about Marble Office upstairs. The program manager is the most important. How long have you been with Hospital Radio now?
17 years now.
And what instigated you joining Hospital Radio?
Well, I used to work in a record shop, and somebody came in and told me about it, and I thought, well, that sounded like a good idea.
And it just went from there, and life has changed dramatically. Because of that.
I shared the same job as you at one time. So I was a Graham's librarian at one time as well.
I was a Graham's librarian. Good grief, it's all coming back to me now. And also with us today, Josh Andrews. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
How long have you been with Hospital Radio?
Much newer than these guys. Just over 2 years.
2 years. Well, I see you've got your school uniform on.
Yep.
Where did you attend school?
Tavistock College.
Marvellous. And what started you in Hospital Radio?
It's somewhere I want to go. Starting block, and I thought I'll see if we've got a Hospital Radio in Plymouth, and we did. And I went straight along to pester and join in, basically.
And like me, when I was first presenting, they said, well, okay, but you've got to do your ward visits and collect requests. That's the way to guarantee listeners. Do you have to do that?
Yes, of course, yeah. And I'm the, I think I'm second in the leaderboards of ward visiting at the moment.
You have a leaderboard. You have a leaderboard.
It's so bitter, you know.
In my day, we used to have, you remember this, Andrew, we used to have names put up of people who didn't do their ward visit on the newsletter. That was right, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
I'll tell you something, Josh, okay. Which ward do you visit? Do you have your own ward assigned?
Yes, I do. I go to level 12, which is the children's wards.
See, it's all changed with me. Level 12. That's only 4 stories below ground level, isn't it? I get confused with this.
It's the very top one.
So do you do a specific children's program?
Yeah, specifically for the children on Sunday afternoons from 3. It's I visit Wild Goose, White Horse, Woodcock and CHDU, so it's quite a big ward visit, and it takes about an hour.
When I left Hospital Radio, Wild Goose had just opened, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It was. I think it was opened by Prince Charles. They've got all pictures up of him opening the ward.
Here's the thing. We were assigned our wards, and I used to do a ward called John Haynes Ward up at Greenbank Hospital. You remember this, Andrew?
I do. I was just thinking about that, and Prance and all those other wards, names have long since disappeared.
But I used to do the request collecting on a Thursday night, okay? And for the Saturday morning breakfast show, so that gave me Friday to prepare the programme. And I used to go the day after most of the ladies had had their down below operations. And they said, whatever you do, don't make us laugh because the stitches will break. I think medicine has moved on, as well as Hospital Radio. So 40 years, Keith, it is a successful station, winning quite a number of awards in recent times.
Yeah, well, we were Station of the Year last year, and we've been nominated for 4 awards this year, up in Blackpool at the end of March, including one for Josh as Best Newcomer.
Wow, that's a thing to be nominated, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very good. I'm very excited. I can't wait till the end of March. It's going to be good.
Yeah, do you know who you're up against?
I don't. I have had a look on the website. Nobody that I recognise, but all I know is it's 9 others that I'm up against in the shortlist.
Well, well done for being shortlisted. That's a feat in itself. And if you get this award this year, what does it mean to the station? Does it mean you get a whole lot of money coming in from sponsors of the award?
be a nice idea. I mean, last year when we won it, we were given a jingles package. I don't know what would happen if we won it again this year. We'll just have to wait and see.
Hospital Radio, Andrew, of course, plays a very important role, doesn't it? Because it was set up by Talk H originally, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Your comment about football commentaries earlier is very much where it all started, and that was the catalyst for the station as it is now today.
And it went from there to the strength that we know it, going from what was the first? Was it Lockyer Street, the first one in Plymouth?
New Street before that is
New
where it
Street
first started, yes. And I think from what I've read in our history books, because that was before my involvement in it, it was like one programme for a couple of hours a week is how it started, and then gradually went up to 2 days a week, and now we're doing 7 days and 24-hour broadcasting. Of
course, when I joined Hospital Radio, we were at Nelson Gardens, which was handy. I lived around the corner at the time. And then we moved to Greenbank. Do you remember the first job we had to do at Greenbank?
Well, I do remember we were like in a ward, weren't we? And we had to sort of clean up all what was there beforehand.
I think it was the technician's laboratory, because I remember the gas taps.
It was, you're quite right, yes.
And we were told, this is our new premise, and we walked in, and we walked into this space, and we thought, wow, dear old Bob Smith, recently departed, was the station manager. And we thought, wow, this big space, how are we going to convert this to studios? And then I remember Mandy, Steve Glanville, and one of the presenters looked around and saw dried blood all over the desks, which had to be cleared first.
Those were the days.
Is it all coming back?
Yes.
Keith, you're looking for I'll use the term loosely, owed members, aren't you?
Yeah, well, some of them are easy to find, like yourself, but others, I mean, over the course of the 40 years, obviously, we've had quite a few members some who have been there for a short amount of time, others who have been there for a long time. And it's really just going through trying to find these people. Andrew is a great source of information. There's two people who have been there longer than him, Steve Glanville and, of course, the legendary Connell Catter.
Who I don't know if his claim is still there. We had him on the show last year. He does a programme purely of 78, dance band music, and his claim was always never to have played the same track twice. He'd never make it in commercial radio, would he?
No, I think you're probably right, yeah. I think he has probably repeated himself a bit now, though, after all this time.
We'll give some details in a moment of how you can get in contact with the guys if you were in hospital radio in whatever capacity.